Hi everyone, Bud Terrell again, My House Fitness in Plano. Today we're going to continue our new series, Know Your Food Part 2. Today we're going to be talking about food labels. So if you go to the grocery store and you buy your food, almost everything has a label like this somewhere on the bag, the box, whatever you're buying, and it gives us the nutritional information, serving size, things like that. So two things we're going to focus on right now, we're going to focus on the serving size and the sugar content. So hopefully you're using these labels, but we're going to educate a little bit about these. So here I have a box of cereal. What's interesting about this box of cereal is the serving size is 3/4 of a cup. So I actually measured this out. So 7 spoonfuls of cereal is 3/4 of a cup. If I dump this in the bowl, the bowl is really, not all that full. I kind of did some experimentation and figured out that probably most of us don't use this cup when we measure our cereal. We actually just dump it into the bowl. And I figured I probably did 2 to 3 servings of this cereal in one actual bowl. And we'll talk a little bit about what that means as far as nutritional value. But that's where the serving size was very conservative. Another one that we just found around the house was, this is something we all give our kids and eat is tater tots. Just, it could be French fries, whatever. But, it's 140 calories per serving. Not necessarily bad, but lo and behold, the serving size is 11 tater tots, which is right here. So I know I'm a bigger guy and I could probably eat it quite a bit, but I don't know too many people who eat just 11 tater tots, or how many people actually measure out 11 tater tots. Typically, we dump them on the pan and make them, and we eat more than that. So, typically, I'm probably eating 2 or 3 servings worth, and that's an easy way to rack up the calories. So it's important to really understand, when you look at nutritional information, what is that size, the serving size. So to continue that, one of the things that we always want to look at is the sugar content in our food. And by knowing the serving size and reading the information label, you'll get a feel for that. Just a reminder that it's recommended that we get around 25 grams of added sugar into our diet. So it doesn't mean from the fruit and the natural sugars that come with like milk or fruit, but it's just the other stuff that we put in our food. So I just want to give you some examples of some of the stuff we have. So let's go back to the cereal. So the other thing about the label I forgot to mention is that if you look at the list of ingredients, the higher they are up in the order is the most prevalent they are. So meaning the first item is what most of it is in the product. So if I look at the Honey Nut Cheerios, the second listed ingredient is sugar. So that's added sugar. That means there's 9 grams of sugar per serving in this box of cereal. But the issue is we just talked about that this is a serving. So if I'm eating 2 or 3 of these in one bowl of cereal, guess what? I'm getting probably 27 grams of sugar in my breakfast cereal in the morning. So I've just equaled my entire daily added sugar intake in one sitting. And what's interesting, and if people compare, is a lot of parents buy Honey Nut Cheerios because they think it's so much more nutritious and less sugar. I actually looked, this has the same sugar content as Frosted Flakes. So sometimes we're buying these because we're making assumptions, and the reality is we're getting just as much sugar here as we do in the other cereals. Some of the other things, for example, soda. Soda is one of the worst things for sugar. This is a small can of Dr. Pepper, regular, not diet, but this one can has 24 grams of sugar. So once again, almost one whole day's added sugar. And then some of the interesting ones we found was just something like yogurt. This is what many of our clients will eat in the morning. They say, I grab a yogurt and I run out the door. And if you look at the label on this, the third ingredient in this is sugar. And one of these containers has 19 grams of sugar. Now, some of that's probably natural, not all of it's added, but still, 19 grams of sugar for breakfast, this small container, that's quite a bit. Another thing I love is about marketing and how marketing makes us assume things about our breakfast. So I ran across this. There's basically now this brand usually makes most of the Greek yogurt. Now they make a Greek yogurt drink. So it's very consumer friendly. It's easy to grab from the refrigerator and take it on the go. And it says 15 grams of protein, really big. But when you pick it up and you look at it, once again, you go back to, hey, what's the number, one of the top ingredients? The number 3 is cane sugar. So it's all added sugar. So this has 15 grams of protein, but 22 grams of sugar. Now, it is one serving, this helps, but once again, loaded with sugar. Another marketing thing, a lot of our clients will eat we're looking for protein drinks, and Muscle Milk is one of the big ones that people will grab, especially on the go and the traveling things. And another marketing now, they have yogurt protein shake, and it actually says with Greek yogurt. So we're jumping onto that bandwagon of get the Greek yogurt. And once again, you look at this, one serving, but 20 grams of sugar in this container. And once again, you look at the ingredients, the number 3 item is cane sugar. So a lot of added sugar. So the whole point of this, just to recap this whole discussion, is that when we talk about knowing your food, it's really understanding what you're buying and what you're putting into your body. The food companies, they're not necessarily your friend all the time. They're giving you information. They have to give you this information on the containers, but there's not a requirement of just how it's presented, meaning that around the serving size. So it's very important for you to read this, understand the serving size, understand the macros, understand what you're getting, especially with the sugar content as well. And just remember, 25 grams of sugar is really what the max you should get per day for added sugar. And just look at your foods and really make the best choices possible. We'll continue this series next week, and we'll be looking at some other topics. If you have specific questions or things you'd like to look for us to look at, just leave a message, and we'll be happy to add that to next week's topic. So, thanks everybody. Bye bye.